After one experiences the stage of denial in their awakening process, comes the stage of acceptance. The stage of accepting the shift in one's paradigm is relatively brief. This is a moment of stasis and reflection, a time for saying our farewell speech to the inauthentic and false doctrines of archaic institutions. Wave goodbye to being compliant with explanations handed down by the old gatekeepers of information. Look to the road of action ahead and to opening the doors of truth that lie in wait. It's not uncommon to experience anger, depression, and even guilt in the recounting of one's life up until this moment. But as with everything in life, this is only temporary. You will begin to experience regular synchronicities, moments when the universe and its energies perfectly align with your thoughts, interests, and priorities, and are seemingly mirrored in your everyday environment. These are affirmations and omens that the path you now walk is supported, or rather encouraged, by Spirit. This path is the course of awakening. The negative emotions you may have felt must be channeled and focused into productive activities that lift you higher, and thus enabling the path of least resistance. When speaking of resistance here, it is not to say you will not encounter opposition or conflict. Instead, it is meant that your heart and intent will sail smoothly onward. Take notice of your newfound inner peace. Notice how your mind and body no longer seem to swim against the current of the universal flow. You have attained acceptance of the world's theater, of the facade that clouds our daily vision from seeing or appreciating our true nature. After the struggles of denial and acceptance, one becomes empowered, usually to take action in the midst of their awakening. Once again, we must come to acknowledge that everything is based on frequency. Violence and acts of hate or directed negative emotions are of primitive, low frequencies and must be abstained from except in times of absolute need. We do not and cannot discard these aspects of our being, as they are inherent and serve purpose in moments when we need them to, but it is unhealthy to form the majority of one's existence around them. We may call upon these negative energies in a life or death confrontation when our ability for self-preservation is threatened. It is possible to steer away from consuming impulses that are detrimental to ourselves and raise our frequency to a level where the whole of the being no longer thrives on those low vibrations. This can be accomplished in a number of ways, including meditation. Meditation also helps to find direction when too many distractions are bombarding you and keeping you from finding and staying on your path. This is the principle behind the practice and is shown to be effective in religious faiths around the world. By adopting meditation as a regular part of your daily routine, you're also helping to ensure that the awakening process continues and prevents you from slipping back into the brainwashed state from whence you came. But this is often not enough in terms of action. The individual tends to feel an obligation to help others in their awakening. Activism can play a key role in this, but there are so many pitfalls associated with it. As seen with numerous groups throughout history and previously, it has been proven that at some point they are often infiltrated and their ideals ultimately compromised by intelligence agencies and rival groups. This is then followed by disinformation to sway public opinion, and once more it becomes easy to control, monitor, and define the group's activities. The group or individuals within it can just as well become patsies for a Hegelian dialectic agenda, if you will. Aside from these obvious issues with activism, it's also very easy for the person in the awakening mode to become too focused on whatever issue they've decided to stand with, and thus stifling their further growth. It might as well be just another method for putting on blinders and going back to sleep. The best advice is to contribute by calling attention to issues and then keep moving and researching for truth. Of course, activists are definitely needed in our society to fight against certain injustices, but we are in a different category here. We are people striving for our own personal ascension, and then to seek out and do the same for others. We search for all the puzzle pieces and for alternative ways to put them together.